Behind home plate, we bringing it to them all day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation of Baltimore Sports Talk. I am your endearingly stuttering host, Matt Soroka. As always, I'm joined by the button lover, Josh Soroka.
Hey, Matthew. How you doing?
Good. Sorry, right before the show, I was Googled right on my phone, which team leads the league in ground into double plays?
For this season, I believe it's the Baltimore Orioles.
It feels like it.
It feels like it, at least, what was it, the first 3 innings on Sunday?
Yeah, we're actually at 4. This is not including today's game, though. And we've hit it up several today, too. So we're going to jump right up this list. So, yeah. This is a weird, I don't know about you, but it's also because my kids are on spring break.
Yeah.
But it's this week, I think, there was not a consistent start time in the Orioles game the entire week.
It may have been that way.
No, I'm pretty sure that's true. Monday was a 2:30 game, which I thought was 3. I was
yes,
by that
because of weather, they moved it to 2:30. Today was
no one told me.
Today was the first part of the season, 6:30, while schools are in session start.
Yeah, and yesterday was the day off.
Monday was the day off.
But Thursday's a different time too, isn't it? I think Thursday's a different time.
Tomorrow's game is a 1:30. Is a 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and then we got the weekend game because
Yeah, well, even if you back it up, the 4 games in Toronto were all different times as well.
Yeah, I need to get in. I'm ready to get in my baseball routine. I just feel off kilter this entire week. That and kids are on spring break and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not in my routine yet. I can't get in this routine.
The calendar's weird now too because the past couple seasons, like Easter has been opening day weekend, and Easter's like 3 weeks away. So
I don't even pay attention to where Easter falls.
Yeah, I do because
How was Easter decided? Is it the certain Sunday of the month? Or something?
I have no idea.
Who decides this?
I don't know. I just
Trump?
know that I have to check paperwork every year to see if I have the kids or if the ex has the kids. So that's how I know where Easter falls.
If I got divorced, I'd probably be better off, better knowing where Easter falls as well. That's true.
You can't say that with Silas sitting right next to you.
Really? That's not appropriate?
No.
Silas, it was a statement of fact. You were explaining how you knew what the holidays were. You know what I can't get out of my head, Josh?
What?
I read this article today from the Financial Times.
Okay.
You ever read the Financial Times?
On occasion.
Okay, it had nothing to do with finances, though.
I don't flip through it, but occasionally an article from them will cross my desk. It's normally a tech article.
Yeah, this was has America reached? It's something about like America has reached peak brain power, and it is now in decline.
I think the internet has made us dumber.
It's fascinating because there's all these charts, and we're getting Orioles baseball, but there's all these charts showing that between the years, everything's going up in terms of critical thinking skills, in terms of even like reading assessments and stuff. This is for adults and students. And then something happens, Josh, in 2012 and 2013, and all the scores start to go down.
Yeah, the internet.
Specifically, what happened though, 2012, 2013 related to the iPhone. Yeah,
is that the iPhone?
That's the year where the majority of people got smartphones.
Yeah, it's where it jumped into your pocket.
Yeah, and it's just so fascinating. I can't stop thinking about how we're getting dumber by the minute ever since we peaked, and now we're just on the decline. There's nothing we can really do about it as a society, so we just kind of embrace it.
I learned, yeah. Well, part of it is also it's society and how we've changed. Like, I was listening to something, and they were talking about how, like, after World War II, you interviewed kids, and they knew all this, like, political stuff about World War II, and, like, they would share it and sounded smart. And now, these were, like, 10-year-olds. And now if you ask a 10-year-old, they don't know anything that's going on in the world. And then that went on to the discussion of being a teenager and how being a teenager used to not exist because you had to go work, get married at 15 and move on.
Yeah.
So we've changed as a society and how we raise kids, and
But
who
it's always
knows
been
if it's
changing.
good or not.
Yeah,
It's always been changing. Yes.
Like I was thinking about this the other day. It was SAS, and
It's not like 2012 we just said, hey, let's be stupid. Because there's a good chance in 4 years from now we see another dip down with AI.
Well, yeah, you're already seeing. I already realized. Like, I was realizing I'm getting dumber when, like, to send an email. Like, I couldn't figure out exactly how I wanted to word or send the email to all my students, and so I just let ChatGPT do it. And then I edited it.
Yeah,
It's efficient for my time, but like I stopped critical thinking. I stopped thinking, and I just turned AI. And I think we're going to see more and more of that.
I live in ChatGPT. Matt, I have a podcast app. I haven't written a iPhone app in 20 years, 15 years. When the phone first came out, I made a few apps. But I wrote one entirely in ChatGPT this week.
And I think that's great, but don't you realize, like, we just have to think less?
Totally. Now, it was awesome for me because I didn't have to spend years relearning this code. I just say, hey, I want the background orange. I want it to do this, do that. And then it says, here, copy and paste this code in there.
Yeah.
Which is great. But what's that mean for jobs in the future? What's it mean for everything?
Well, and jobs are one thing.
Creativity.
But just your own ability to problem solve and think deeply is because we can't focus on one thing for more than 5 minutes because you don't have practice of thinking deeply and solving things anymore because we don't need to.
Right.
And so maybe we're okay because we don't need to, but anyway, we're all getting dumber.
No, I agree. And that's where I think creativity goes in there as well because AI can't be creative. Everything's going to start looking the same.
Yeah. And you mentioned raising kids differently and what they know. As I'm reading The Last Manager, the
Earl Weaver book,
John Miller Earl Weaver book, and it's talking about just kind of Earl Weaver growing up in the beginning of the book and playing baseball every day outside with people, and this is that nostalgic, Dad will talk about this going outside and playing with his friends in the neighborhood, and we just don't I don't even know if there's not another kid in the neighborhood for Sas to play with, and so one of the reasons we do travel ball is like I have to pay to do what they could do for free in the 60s and 70s, find pickup guys to play ball with. Yeah. And this is the same reason why I spend hundreds of dollars every summer on camp, because for the social factors, and if there was just a freaking people outside playing in the neighborhood, I wouldn't have to spend all this money on camps.
When we were
almost like we had to manufacture what we had naturally as kids.
Yeah, when we were kids, we would just go outside and find the other kids.
Yeah, and we go
because all the kids would be outside trying to find.
Yeah, just different. Sorry, I didn't mean to get sidetracked here to start.
No problem.
I've just been thinking about that stuff recently.
No problem. We've got actual live Orioles baseball, and so we've got plenty to talk about today.
We do. I jotted down some notes of things I want to make sure we touch on, because there's been, I feel like, a lot going on with this team, even in just the week since we talked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say, oh, well, it's been a week. Well, with that only having one off day, it means we've played 6 games now.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I guess it's also the fact that we're recording on a Wednesday instead of a Sunday night.
Yeah. Well, we'll blame you for softball and then blame me. Yes. Sass and I went to the Atlanta Hawks game last night, so we didn't get home real late.
Who were they playing yesterday?
Trailblazers. Lost to the Trailblazers.
All right. There is so much to talk about because we haven't talked with the season starting.
Yeah, we got to talk.
So
Gunner, shortstop, what's happening at shortstop, the Colton Cowser thing, injuries,
the
hand
bats,
cramping,
torpedo bats,
torpedo bats, all kinds of happenings.
And this offense, which kind of felt let's start with this offense real quick, because the Orioles are 3-3. So they're a 500 team.
Yeah.
It feels like this offense is all or nothing. Yeah. I know they had one game, the home opener, where they manufactured 4 runs in the first inning. They scored 8 runs that game without giving up, without a home run. But every other game, it's like either the bat's completely dry or we hit 12 home runs. Is that something that concerns you a weekend?
Oh my, you're gonna start that. We have so much to talk about, and that's how you're gonna open it. I'm already irritated, Josh. A week, and we had what 2 games where we didn't score runs. The rest of the games scored a bunch of runs. We averaging 6.5 runs per game.
Yeah. How many on Wednesday night?
Well, Wednesday night 0, but
Mm-hmm.
but my takeaway from Wednesday night is how come we didn't trade for Garrett Crochet? That's my
Yes.
takeaway. My takeaway is not
Right.
the Orioles offense as much as the Boston's pitching. I also think like the Gunnar Henderson is the big deal. Obviously,
to miss him for the
but the domino effect.
Well, and I was going to say that brings in the other discussion of Mateo getting so much playing time.
Yeah, because now all of a sudden, if Gunnar was here, Holiday would be playing. Weirdly, right? Like it feels weird to me that there's like almost a domino effect where now Mateo and Urias is in the lineup.
Well,
and I feel like they both should be on the bench.
Yeah, but Urias, his playing time, he has been hitting the ball well.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's why they went that way.
All right. I guess so. It just seems like there's been a domino effect. And maybe I feel like I'm missing something too, Josh, because I wasn't joking when I texted you guys and was like, why is Gunnar at Norfolk playing and not with the Orioles playing? I really don't understand that.
Well, it's because he missed so much spring training that it's
who cares? They said Devers
because,
only had 10 at bats in spring training.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he wasn't ready for opening day. So it would he would have to sit opening day, maybe, I guess.
Right.
And so you sit him opening day.
Down.
Yeah, you're a man down. Who cares?
And maybe they didn't expect him to be ready so fast.
I guess not. It's just annoying that he was ready for opening day at Norfolk and is playing every day there.
I believe he can come back
here.
I believe he can come back tomorrow, right?
Yeah. The question is, do you have him come back for the afternoon travel? I think he's in Charlotte now. So you have him travel from Charlotte.
Is he actually
for the afternoon game?
No, hold on. What does he have to go? Does he have to go to Charlotte today, or could he have traveled back to Baltimore today and prepared for tomorrow?
This was this discussion this afternoon. I don't know if he's in the lineup today for Charlotte. I mean for Norfolk.
I would hope not, because there's no point to have him in that lineup. I mean, I'll pull the game up.
Yeah, I've been saying that for weeks.
But if I was the Orioles, no, I would tell them to don't even go to the game. Like, who cares? You're going to be a man down for Charlotte? Okay.
Yeah. So
and he is in the lineup, and he's had 3 at-bats tonight so far.
Yeah. So it sounds like he's not going to play tomorrow.
Now, Norfolk is only a 4-hour drive, so he could go even after the game tonight.
Right. He could go after the game, but to play in an afternoon game and then to fly to Kansas City.
You're right.
Maybe just save him and fly him to Kansas City.
You're right.
Yeah.
It'll probably be hot. Well, yeah. It'll probably be Holiday at short tomorrow.
Against a righty.
Against a righty.
Yeah.
And then you're going to save Gunnar for the road trip.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what you'll do.
Yeah. And my other concern is not hot, cold. It's all or nothing. It's a stupid comment that was. My concern would be more, if anything, also like, well, maybe do we need to talk about our issues with lefties? And part of the reason we've got Tyler O'Neill was to address this lefty situation.
Yes.
Bases loaded.
Same with Gary Sanchez was to address this double play situation. I'm sorry, I got distracted because Ciano Perez just threw a double play ball and he was like pumped up shouting. Yeah,
the positive of this team has the bullpen's definitely been a positive.
Yeah, don't you feel like this is getting a sack when you're down 17-0 in the fourth quarter and you're all pumped up about it?
Yeah, unless somehow you can Perez can go back to that dugout and get everyone fired up to hit 3 dongs against Chapman.
Yeah.
But Chapman, is that who the closer is for Boston nowadays?
That's the Red Sox closer, yes. Aroldis Chapman.
Isn't he like 45 years old now?
He's still their closer, and he still would scare me.
I don't know. I think they can do better than that.
Yeah.
But Josh, they also So much. All right. Anyway, before I forget, I want to get to also the Red Sox signing their second baseman to a 6-year, $80 million deal. But,
Yes.
before we get there, anything else
You mean
on
the Diamondbacks?
the Red Sox?
No, the Red Sox extended Garrett. Did the Red Sox also sign a second baseman?
Yeah, today.
I thought and didn't the Diamondbacks extend someone today?
I don't know about the Diamondbacks.
All right, then the Diamondbacks and Keto Mart agreed to an extension.
Okay, well I haven't checked my phone recently, so that's newer to me.
Okay, I mean that was earlier today. So okay, and the Red Sox.
Oh man, I'm just finding this out too.
Christian Campbell.
Yeah.
To 8 years. Yeah, it's all, and the guy from the Diamondbacks stands out because he is a Boras client. When we like to say, oh, well, we can't extend Gunnar because he's a Boras client, here we saw a team get it done.
And Jackson Merrill for the Padres signed a 9-year contract extension as well.
Yeah, I think wasn't that yesterday? Or was that earlier today as well?
That was this morning.
Yeah, what do you think's up with all these deals getting done in the first week of baseball? Like, why weren't these handled during spring training?
Yeah.
The timing's weird.
Isn't it? And isn't it the timing weird to have 3 of them announced in 24 hours?
Yeah, and what's even weirder is
that we weren't involved.
Not them other Orioles.
Yes, that we have the youngest team in baseball.
Does Michael Elias know he's allowed to do this?
Right.
Yeah, they were all within like hours of each other too.
Yeah, it's very odd.
Yeah, so I feel like it increases at least. I don't know if it increases the pressure for Mike Elias, but for Orioles fans, every time that happens, it makes us, and I think understandably, a little more antsy for Gunnar, Adley,
Westberg,
Grayson, Holiday. You know, to
Totally.
see at least one of those extensions happen. And I didn't know one of them was a Boras client because that's what you hear all the time. Well, Boras doesn't take his clients to, as if the players have no say in this process. Yeah.
Right.
So, all right. Well, so there's still hope. So now I have to refresh my Twitter every day now, hoping that they're.
I will still always be surprised when it happens, but remember, it was one of my bold predictions was that this happens this year.
Yeah. Well, that's the trend right now.
Yeah. You know who it will not happen for this year? Colton Cowser. Because you got to be smarter running to first base to do something like dive head first, which is never proven to get you there faster. And now you're going to miss 8 weeks of baseball. Stupid move.
Stupid.
Yeah, I mean, he is. This is the ultimate punishment, right? This is the classic example of your actions have consequences. He's going into timeout for the next 2 months because of this.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
Colton, you did it. Now you got timeout for 2 months.
Right? Don't you want like Kerstead to get so hot that like you can't take him out? Sorry, Colton, you're gonna have to stay down in Norfolk a little bit.
Yeah, like losing Colton Cowser, there's no ifs and ifs about it. Like he's a good player, and your team is worse off without Colton Cowser. Yeah. It does. There was a bit of a mystery on how much or how would Heston Kjerstad get enough bats?
Yes,
get the bats he needs. I think to kind of show what kind of.
But I think he's still not getting enough right now.
Well, I think this is just a righty situation. I mean,
okay, so you think
back-to-back lefties?
You think he'll be in there tomorrow?
Yes, and I think he'll play against every right-handed.
Oh, that's true, and it's a day game tomorrow, so anyone that's on the bench is getting in tomorrow.
Yeah, though I assume Adley's catching since he didn't catch tonight.
Yeah, that's why he's DH tonight because he'll catch tomorrow.
Because lefty, and that's one of the reasons we got Sanchez.
Yes,
and so we got O'Neill and Sanchez, and we got 0 runs. How's that working out for us so far? Small sample size.
Yeah, it is small sample size.
But
it is.
But
it is the Red Sox best pitcher on the mound.
Yeah, you can't win them all. And to me, Josh, this season so far, outside the injuries with Cowser, and we didn't even talk about the injury to Albert Suarez, and thankfully he didn't go on the injured list, but a scary moment with your boy Saguna.
Yeah, some cramping. What's up with that? Is it because he's not used to pitching out? No, he was in Toronto, right? So it was indoors.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't hand cramp. I don't know.
Really disappointing to see that
something.
as your first performance.
Yeah, but he didn't seem too concerned about it. So
right. Okay. So how concerned are you that our pitching staff has not been able to go deep? Eflin has gotten 6 innings, but the rest are like 4 or 5 innings.
Yeah, I'm concerned, but also not at all surprised. This is exactly who I thought we were, right? We have a really good offense. I mean, we're not the Yankees who are scoring 10 runs a
Charlie
game.
Morton was extremely disappointing. That's not what you wanted from a veteran.
Maybe was he disappointing? Yes, but was I surprised? He's 72 years old.
Okay.
I wasn't surprised that he's going to have some bad games. What's more concerning is his post-game comments where it was like, you know, they were hitting all my curveballs. I'm not sure what was up with that.
Right, right.
Like that was more concerning.
Working. Yeah, when he says, I do what I've been doing for 45 years and it doesn't work.
Yeah, and they were just hitting it. I'm not sure why. It was just he said it was a weird game.
Yeah.
That's one word for it. So, but the idea that I think there's going to be the struggle all year is our starting pitching. And can our starting pitching get deep enough to not wear out our bullpen, to get to the back end of our bullpen? And I mean, that's going to be us all year. And how much runs can we put up to minimize, you know, or to cover up,
and how much can
our average starting pitching?
Yeah, and how much can our bullpen hold? And I'll say that
right
when I say our pitching didn't go deep, it's not like they gave up a bunch of runs.
Yeah,
all those games were still within reach.
Agreed, and it's the first. I mean, it's the first start for everybody. So, and there is also some Hyde-ness here, right? Hyde has a quick trigger.
Yeah,
he
always has had a quick trigger,
and I think he always will.
Yeah,
and so
but that's because he's always had that bullpen to rely on.
Right, and so usually the weakness of a bullpen is that middle relief, right? The 6, 7.
Yeah. Are you here to tell me what I think you're gonna say? You're gonna give props to a guy that you've hated for forever?
What are you talking about, Brian Baker?
Brian Baker's looking good this year.
This is what he does, Josh. This is
he gets you excited.
He has great stuff. You can look at his fastball, look at his changeup. Oh, it's so good. And then just wait till a key situation and he grooves a 95-mile fastball right down the middle and gives a grand slam.
I hope
that moment this season will happen.
I hope not, because I'm getting very excited about Baker's performance this year.
Okay. That's what he does every year. So, enjoy it while it lasts. So, right. but no, I think the bullpen has looked fine. I like our arms in there, right? I like Soto, I like Perez, I like Dominguez. Obviously, I like Cano. I'm glad Bautista. I'm so glad we scored some more runs on opening day. So Bautista had that cushion to work with as he kind of works back into it. I think the expectations should be a little bit low for Bautista starting out the season, and I think we shouldn't overreact to a bad few outings for Bautista as he returns from injury. So be patient with that one, O's fans. But yeah, no, I'm feeling pretty good about our bullpen arms. Again, the issue is going to be, can we get to the 6th inning with giving up 3 or 4 runs? I mean, that quality start is going to be a big stat to look at this year.
Yes.
We don't have to be first in baseball in quality starts, but we can't be at the bottom either in quality starts. So
no, we got to be in that like 10 to 15, and we got to be in the middle of that.
Yeah. So how many quality starts can Dean Kramer, can Saguna get us? Can Morton get us? Is it for me an open question that I am concerned about, and we don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Josh, you mentioned, and it's true, the Yankees lead the league in home runs. They lead the league in runs scored.
Yes.
And they lead the league in illegal use of bats.
Now
I heard that the Orioles, there's some Oriole players using these bats too, I've heard.
I heard Adley, so the torpedo bats, I heard Adley was experimenting with it. I don't know if it got into a game.
Okay. I just heard a reporter mention that Orioles batters have been using them as well.
And I heard that when they, everyone's looking into this now. So I heard that when they called up, I saw a report when they called up bat manufacturers and said, what other teams have been reaching out to you this offseason? And everyone mentioned the Orioles. So they said that behind the Yankees were the Orioles in doing bat research.
Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me. It's something that I should expect because it's all based on analytics, and we're supposed to be leading baseball in analytics right now.
Yeah, isn't it a little bit of surprising and annoying that someone thought of this before we did? Isn't this why we have Sig Mejdal to figure out?
Yes, it's a little bit annoying that the Yankees came out with this before anyone. And it was so quiet that we didn't hear anything about it this offseason, which means in spring training, what bats were they using?
The torpedo bats.
Then why did no one talk about it? Why did it take 15 home runs in 3 games?
Like I heard a story, someone tell a story the other day saying, and this is not, I didn't read this during spring training, so you're right. I don't know if they're talking about spring training, but in spring training, how Chaz Chisholm was reluctant to go with the torpedo bat, and then he borrowed Anthony Volpe's torpedo bat, hit a home run. It's like, okay, I'm going to get a torpedo bat. So that they were doing this in spring training, experimenting with them.
Yeah, because it's supposed to change the weight of the bat too, so it changes the feel of the bat.
Yeah, is the basic premise, Josh, and I read the article, but the sweet spot that you kind of go is not really bigger necessarily. It's just they put it closer to where the hitter typically.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it explained as it being larger.
Okay.
And slid down.
And slid down where a player is more likely to make. And contact.
I've also heard them talk about how with analytics they can make custom bats for custom players to
based
adjust
the
torpedo location.
Yeah.
So it's definitely intriguing, and I love it. If it truly does, if that's why the Yankees are hitting these home runs, then by the end of the season, every team will have these bats. And I love it because it's the fun of the home run and the steroid era without the steroids. So I like that.
How long before pitchers start making torpedo balls to combat the bats?
It's interesting because baseball changes their rules. NFL does something really interesting. NFL changes their rules every year to try to balance it out, to try to make the offense and the defense even. Baseball does the opposite. They keep moving the rules towards the batters. They got rid of the shift to help the batters, to help the offense. They got rid
of the sticky stuff.
They got rid of the sticky stuff to help the offense.
I think the clock is more of an advantage hitter, right?
The clock is advantage hitters. The bases is advantage pitcher, making the bases larger, but I think that was a safety thing.
But the stealing is not advantage pitcher.
That's true.
The throwover is only 2 throwovers, and
you're right. So maybe that does not.
But more than that, the natural current of the game, Josh, has swung more to the pitcher's side as they start throwing harder and harder and harder.
Correct.
So, and then that caused offense to go down.
That's true.
That part of it.
No.
So I think part of these rules were combating what was naturally happening in the game.
And that's also where you're seeing fences move and stuff.
Yeah,
as well.
That's if Yankees are gonna do these torpedo bats, we might move our fences back again next offseason.
Right.
We brought them in. Now that we see the Yankees torpedo bats,
I like the idea of robot fences where you can move the fences in or out depending on what team you're playing.
Yeah.
You can't change it mid-game. You can't be like in between innings, it moves up. But the Royals are in town, let's adjust them here. The Yankees are in town, let's push them back.
Yeah. Are you allowed to do that?
I don't think I bet you it's not in the rule book.
Yeah.
I bet you it says that your stadium has
off season.
Right.
So why not game to game or series to series?
Yeah, like I don't know if the Orioles had to get their defense change approved by anyone. Yeah. So I would guess it's not in the rule book.
I thought you were going more with like a basketball arcade game where the rim moves in and out throughout the entire game. The wall comes in and out. You got to time it right. Or like
I am in favor of objects past the wall that if you hit, get you more runs. Like a carnival game. You hit the car out in center field, that's 4 runs. You
hit a child in section 78 that's allowed now to come down and watch the game. You get bonus points for that.
I haven't paid attention. Have many kids been in that kids' porch?
Yeah, the opening day, the first when we hit the ball to the fence, the first inning, I paused to show Silas. There was like maybe 10 kids out there.
Yeah, there weren't many kids there for opening day, but I thought maybe it's because it was opening day.
Yes, there might not many big kids there to begin with. But yeah, by the way, what are your thoughts on that stadium? So now they have a platform
Yes.
where kind of the wall was moved in, and now kids and their parents under 12, I don't know if they're checking birth certificates here, can go down with their kid and get close to the action.
I believe that thing will be shut down before summer.
Why?
I think people in that section are going to get annoyed by it.
I think it dips down a little bit, so I don't think it bothers people in the back.
I think a kid could get hurt. I think you're going to see guys taking advantage of bringing their little kids to the game so they can get up there.
Oh, I think doing that.
I think you're going to have an issue with what's the ball catcher guy? He's going to sneak a kid in. Zach Hampton. You're going to have to watch out for him over there. I think it was not thought out and a last minute, hey, we need something here. I don't think they were planned it. I think
as opposed to the other option would be like VIP.
No, if you want that to be a kids area, here's how you make it a kids area. You change the wall there to a fence with the border, like a chain link, and you put the kids all the way on the ground. So now they're behind the fence, but they can see through the fence.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's supposed to be a kids area as much it's supposed to be. I think they want to encourage kids to sit in those sections and have like a section in those seats too, where there's a lot of young people.
Right.
Like if I'm bringing my kid, do you know where I'm sitting? I'm sitting in the upper deck where they have kids attend free or whatever. You get the buy one, get one free. That's where I'm going.
Yes, totally. I think it's a ploy, just like expanding. I don't like the expansion of Mr. Splash to 2 sections either. I'm done with Mr. Splash. He can go home. Oh, he's not the Oriole bird.
Even if it's Dairy Queen out there shooting him?
I don't care. But by the way, I predicted that on this show. Told you that would happen.
Did you also predict that Maryland will be destroyed? And it's Josh. We're everywhere here. But I just have to say this,
and that they would. Right.
This is everything that's wrong with college basketball.
There'd be a coaching controversy.
Josh, I got into college basketball this year more than ever because of Maryland and Dairy Queen and Reese and the whole and
welcome to the portal.
Group. And now, Josh, literally no one's left.
I know.
Queen is going to go to the draft. Reese graduates. The guards all have entered the transfer portal. The coach left. There's literally no one left. The Crab Five is no more.
Right. Now, it's going to be because they entered the portal doesn't mean they'll leave, but yes.
But they probably will.
Right.
And this is what everybody does. And then we'll get 5 new guys.
No, and it's the problem with they're suddenly turning. It's the problem of making college sports professional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We are all over the place today with so much stuff that went on this week.
Yeah. I also, before I forget.
But anyway, I think it's all a ploy to keep those left field seats full and packed so that when they're on TV, it looks crowded.
Okay. But it doesn't look that crowded.
Well, not yet, but we'll get there.
But I might get a seat. I'm going to see how much they cost when we go up in May.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at see how much tickets cost in those sections. Because you have to be, this is how it is, right? You have to sit in those sections.
Yes, you have to sit in those sections.
So not anyone can just go down there. You have to sit in those sections 78, 80, 82, I think it is.
Which again seems more like a pain to manage, but whatever.
Yeah, and so maybe they'll jack up those ticket prices for those.
Yeah, yes.
But you mentioned the torpedo bats and how did they come up with that first? But how did they beat the Orioles to it? And really, just in general, it seems like we should have been how baseball, like we cover every single advantage. How did torpedo bats not come up before? Like how did no one think about making the sweet spot bigger and moving it? Like I don't know. But
what I don't understand is do you know the guy who came up? Have you read the story about the guy who came up with the torpedo bat?
No, I didn't read his story.
He is an MIT physicist.
Okay.
But he is currently a coach with the Miami Marlins. Yet somehow he decided to introduce the bats to the Yankees. So I don't know how it I don't know how it got to the Yankees. Like did the Yankees?
So did you read the story or not?
Introduce the bats to the Marlins. right?
Yeah, and Uncle Josh says he read the story, but now he doesn't know the details of how they
No,
got.
he's the
Marlins.
coach of the Marlins.
Yeah, but he gave the bats to the Yankees.
Yeah, that's what the story said. He is now a coach with the Miami Marlins, but he introduced the bats to the Yankees last season. So maybe he wasn't.
Oh, he wasn't a coach with the Marlins, maybe.
Yeah. So,
right.
yeah. So anyway, that's how the Yankees got involved with this, and Victus was the first ones to come out with it, and I guess now everyone's calling them.
How long until they get to travel ball?
They never will.
It's a 7U.
They never will because Kid Little League already has the advantage with aluminum bats.
Yeah.
So, and you'll never see aluminum bats in Major League Baseball because they'll kill someone.
Hey, do you know something else I saw that I was like, shoot, how come we didn't think of that before they did? What team was I watching? You know, when you go to college basketball, we'd always do this. When the shot clock was getting low and the away team had the ball, and let's say there was 10 seconds left on the shot clock, all the fans would start counting 5, 4 when it was at 10.
Yes.
And so they would feel like they would have to shoot at 1, even though there was, or we would do the opposite. There'd be 5 seconds, we start counting from 10.
Right.
I saw, Josh, what was I watching where I saw an MLB fan base doing this? They were counting down the pitch clock, but not in sync with the
seen that.
and all the fans were doing it. It was super loud.
Love
They
it.
were counting down the pitch clock, but to mess with the pitcher's head.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool to see.
I love that. That's
I want to see
move.
more of that happening. Yeah.
I'll tell you
That's
my
another home
favorite
field advantage.
I don't know when basketball started doing this a few years ago. My favorite thing that basketball does when you watch it on TV is put the shot clock at the key.
I haven't really noticed that.
They put it right at the key, so you don't have to look over in the corner or anything for it. It's right there on the court with a little CGI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see that when we went to the Hawks game yesterday.
Well, you got to squint.
We were at the Hawks.
Yeah, I know. I was just making a joke. I know. We wanted to see, you had to watch on TV, right? Have you noticed that shot clock on the court?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when are aluminum bats going to get the West League?
Aluminum bats?
Yeah.
Well, we already use aluminum bats at all levels. You're talking about the travel ball bats
Yeah. When are they going to allow them in West League?
in rec league? Yeah, I know. Yeah, the separate bats for travel ball and separate bats for rec league.
Oh,
That
right,
works.
right. It's all because of how hard that bat is hit, and the kids on rec league aren't good enough
Yeah.
to react.
Yeah, or to catch it, even just
Yeah.
catching. All right. Other stuff. So we talked about my notes. Josh, so if you had your druthers going back here, Holiday, do you think Holiday should be your everyday shortstop? If you're
No,
on the lineup?
I don't mind. I like Holiday at second base. I don't mind him at all.
No, with Gunnar not here.
Oh yeah, with Gunnar
Yes.
not here, I would have
Yes.
Holiday at short every day. And I'll tell you, I don't like the Urias at third and Westberg at second. I would have Westberg at third and Urias at second. And I hate that. Well, Urias won the Gold Glove. That was 3 years ago.
What's weird, Josh, is if you look at the data, whatever the defensive runs saved and all the other metrics for defense, it says Westberg is much better at third.
Right.
And it says much better than Urias at third. And that Urias has only had a small sample size at second, but he's been good at second and not as good at third. So, outside of the Gold Glove, all the numbers point to Urias playing second, and we're a numbers-driven team.
Right.
So I don't really know what's up with that. And it makes Westberg play 2 positions once Gunnar comes back, when he should be easier to just play 1 position. Why make it harder on your guys?
Yeah, just focus. And it's just annoying, especially when Holiday is playing well and he's hitting the ball well.
Yeah, it seems like the spring training performances have carried over. Adley Rutschman, I thought, has looked really good. I know it kind of struggled a little bit today, but I thought Adley Rutschman's looked really good. You mentioned Jackson Holiday's looked good. Obviously, Tyler O'Neill and that stupid home run opening day streak. What is that, at 6 now or something? Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's one of those fluky things, but he's been on fire. Jordan Westberg hitting leadoff. How are we feeling about him as our new leadoff hitter?
Well, I love Jordan Westberg as the leadoff. Until Holiday is ready, I think
You mean
eventually we
Gunnar?
get I go Holiday, Westbrook, Gunner Adley as my 1 through 4. But I love Westbrook up there in that lineup.
Yeah, I do too. I'm a little uncomfortable with Gunner at leadoff, to be honest, because it reminds me a little bit back in the day with Brady Anderson, like all those home runs.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be nice if we could have a runner on every now and then for those home runs.
And that's why I don't want Gunner in leadoff. I want Gunner in the 2 and 3 hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it feels like, too, if you move Gunner from 1 to 2, it pushes other people down too. So it just feels your lineup just feels better than having. I mean, you could have Westberg at 5 or 6, but I feel like putting Westberg at 1, assuming he keeps hitting like this.
Correct.
And then once Holiday's ready to be moved up, which I hope is later this year, that again makes our lineup even better.
I want Holiday's speed up there. I'm a little concerned about his strikeouts this year to start off. He's hitting the ball well, but he has 8 strikeouts to lead the team.
Yeah. How many of those came in the first couple games too? Though?
I mean, just as the leader, I don't want my leadoff hitter striking out. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's ready quite for leadoff quite yet.
But I think right now Westbrook's doing a great job there. So even when Gunner comes back, I hope they put Gunner in 2.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. And again, it just seems like, Josh, are you ready to eat? A lot of our guys are just performing well offensively. Are you ready to admit you were wrong about Cedric Mullins? And
how shocked are you about Cedric Mullins? I am totally shocked about Cedric Mullins and how well he's started off this season. I really thought this was his swan song.
Tyler O'Neill, who's been in Fuego, has 5 RBI. That's second on the team.
Yeah, with 8 hits. He's got 8 hits. Westbrook's got 8 hits. And Mullins is right behind them with 7 hits.
Yeah, but Josh, Tyler O'Neill has 5 RBI. He's second. Cedric Mullins has 10 RBI. He's doubled it. So he's been responsible for driving in 10 runs and then scoring himself 3 runs. So responsible for 13 runs this team have scored in 6 games. That's pretty good.
Well, he's got the 2 dongs.
Yeah.
And then he's just been in the lineup in a position where people have been on base, which has been great.
Yeah, and he's come through with the hits. So really good start for him. Again, good start for Westberg, good start for Adley, good start for Jackson, good start for Tyler O'Neill. You just go down the list. Good start for Ryan O'Hearn, that's been off to a pretty good start.
You know who is not off to a good start? Jorge Mateo.
Okay, I thought you were going to go after my boy, and I was about to go into defense mode.
No, Mateo. Okay. Mateo also is here to play defense, and he's leading the team in errors.
You think Mateo's playing for his job, Josh? You think he's gone when Gunner comes back? They could send back Dylan Carlson. That makes you a little bit short in the outfield.
Yeah, they could send him back Dylan. No, you're not going to send back Dylan Carlson.
Why not?
You're going to send back an infielder. Unless you say Mateo can help in the outfield too. I think Mateo is playing for his job. Well, you know what? Here's what I think the Orioles are going to do. Classic Orioles move. Classic Michael Elias move. Heston Kjerstad goes away.
Josh,
they love to not give your boy experience, to not give him time and say, oh, he only got 1 hit up here. Sure, he only got 4 at-bats.
Well, not just 4 at-bats, Josh. If you're watching this, and now he's going to get more at-bats with Cody How's injury, but how they treat him is they platoon him at the end of the games.
Yes.
So what he comes in this 8th and 9th inning against the best, hardest throwing relief arms, some of the best pitchers in baseball, and he hasn't hit all game. He's just thrown out there, and he got out. He stinks, and it's not a fair shot of my boy Heston.
No, it's not. He has 7 at bats and 1 hit, but you're right. 4 of those at bats was from when he got a start on opening day. But other than
just pinch hit stuff.
Other than that, it's pinch hit late in the games.
Yeah, but he had a big single the other day to drive in a couple runs. I think he has a sac fly too, so he's contributed.
He had a long ball to get an RBI as well in Toronto.
A sac fly?
Was it a sac fly? Yeah.
Yeah. We had the sac fly and the big opposite field hit.
Yes. Yeah, where the guy scored.
Yeah. All right. So it's going to be interesting to watch what happens to Gunnar Henderson. What did the corresponding roster mean?
Yeah, I don't truly think it's going to be Heston Kjerstad.
I think it's John Carlson.
Dylan Carlson would make the most sense.
He has options.
Because he has options. But then you brought him up to replace an outfielder. So that would be the only.
Yeah, but I mean, Ryan O'Hearn can play the outfield. Heston Kjerstad can play the outfield. So I feel like you could. Who can play center? Laureano can play center.
You know what? And
can play center. So
it's really your extra men at that infielders at that point would be Urias and Mateo.
Right.
And on that, you're not. Urias has been hitting the ball well, so you're not going to. But then that's where you're going to say, you're right. I would say Dylan Carlson goes down. Mateo is your extra spot because you're like, I'm only going to use that guy as a late inning runner.
Defensive replacement, runner,
right.
Emergency thing. Yeah.
And emergency, he can go play in the outfield.
Yeah. But again, there's enough outfielders on this team, is what I'm telling you, Josh.
Yeah,
that he doesn't need to play
and Laureano, yeah.
And O'Hearn in emergency.
True. You're right. All right, so we talked Kjerstad, we talked Gunnar. I'm with you. Gunner's probably Friday, not Thursday. Which again's all right.
Which is fine as long as holiday starts tomorrow.
Were there
sure? We're okay with it.
Yeah. Yes. And was there anything else on your notes?
No.
All right. Has any other team impressed you? Like, we split with. It's really weird to start with divisional games right from the shoot. To start with the Blue Jays and then rolling into the Red Sox. We split with the Blue Jays. Yeah. Normally that'd be annoying, or were you disappointed because we kept those games within reach? We had chances to beat the Blue Jays, and are you surprised on how well they're playing?
No, I'm not surprised.
No.
I didn't even realize the Blue Jays are playing the Nationals the past 3 games.
Yeah,
that's why why they put up 3 wins.
I mean, the Max Scherzer injury that happened, that's concerning for them. Gausman was pretty good for them.
Gausman looked outstanding.
That's not surprising. And we got to Jose Barrios, which is great. So, you obviously want to win series. That's the whole name of the game, is just win series. Right. So if you split against the Blue Jays, and we talked about like this division's so close,
yes,
that these seem like who cares? It's just April, or just March. But I mean, who knows how this thing's going to end up? I think it's going to end up with just a game or two. So, and that's why I'm annoyed by the Gunnar thing too. Why he's not here already?
Because do you think Gunnar would have gotten us one more win this week?
I think it's possible.
I think it's a good chance. He puts us in a better spot.
It's possible
every time he plays.
Yeah, and then you look at Boston, and listen, I'm pretty low on Boston, and they came off having a rough series in their opening series.
Yes,
and so they look very beatable. And now we're in a position where we could lose a series to Boston. I mean, it makes tomorrow's game feel like, Josh, are we ready to say tomorrow's game is the biggest game of the season thus far?
What I'm looking, let's see, it's Morton tomorrow, right?
Oh, is that who's starting Morton?
I think so. What I'm looking for from the Orioles tomorrow is a better performance by Morton.
Yeah.
And I think we need to win the game. It's a division rival. I don't care that it's the second series of the year. It's a division rival. The division's going to be close. You got to take the series. So must win.
All right. We got a must win. It's never too early to start with the must win.
If it was truly a must win, you'd bring Gunnar up. That's how the Orioles are going to play it safe and say, "Oh, it's early. We'll play hard. If we don't get it, we'll sweep the Red Sox later in the year."
Yeah. And then looking ahead. We have Boston, then we play KC, and they're a good team, right? Kansas City's a good team.
They haven't played great this season yet, but they're there.
And then we go to Arizona. Who are we going to see a?
Yes. I think
we will. Going with this?
Corbin Burns?
Yeah, we're going to see a little Corbin Burns action.
I assume so. That's how our luck goes.
But that's it. I haven't really thought about it, but this is kind of a tough start to the season.
It is.
It's Boston, Kansas City, and then Arizona. and then we go back to Toronto, and then we're then home against Toronto.
It's
a tough
really
start of the
interesting.
season.
I have not studied the schedule this year like I did in previous years.
You didn't go through. Josh usually goes through and gets every game a W or an L. You didn't do that this year.
I do normally do that to come up with my prediction for number of wins and losses.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll do that this week.
Yeah.
But I'm more of last year. You looked at the schedule and you didn't even have to do a close observant to see. Oh, June is the easy month. Now it turned out that isn't how it went last season.
Right.
But on paper, it looked that way. And
on paper right now, I'm telling you, May is looking pretty good.
May? All right.
Yeah. We get through April.
Who do we have in May?
Well, we started with Kansas City again, which is not good. And by the way, first weekend in May, that's Sunday. Josh and I will be there. We encourage you guys to come out and watch a game with us
May
on
4th. May 4th, message us if you want to get tickets with us because I'm going to buy tickets in the next week or two with whoever wants to join us.
All right, and then here's our next series after that, though. Minnesota.
Okay. Winnable.
Angels.
Winnable.
Minnesota.
Winnable. Again?
Yeah, again. Washington.
Sweepable.
Milwaukee, who's off to a really rough start.
Yeah, that's winnable.
Boston. And
Winnable.
then we end the month with St. Louis, who is in rebuilding mode.
Yeah.
And Chicago White Sox, which are the worst team in the league. So
good.
that's a good
I like
month.
that. I like May.
Yeah.
May sounds good.
Yeah.
That can set a good foundation going into the summer.
Yeah. So So, but April's tougher. April's tough. So we'll have to see how we're sitting in April. But I agree with you, Josh. The story tomorrow is going to be all eyes focused on Morton, and I think this is a story to start the season until Grayson gets back. I know Grayson has thrown some side sessions. That's a step in the right direction, but I'm not excited about it. But it's a good step. But the story is going to be the starting pitching and can it hold up for the first half of the season. So we'll have to see. A shaky first week, to say the least, for the starting pitching.
Yeah. Well, April is our toughest month when you look at the schedule.
Right.
And then September. September's also tough because we get a lot of those.
September. Yeah.
Huh?
All right. Yeah, September. Yeah, that's the final month of the season.
I know, but
you don't even know it's going to be tough. So
Padres, Dodgers, Yankees, all there at the end.
All right, the Padres could blow up their team by then.
They could.
I know aren't they undefeated? Or no,
No.
They opened with a sweep. Did they lose a game then? I don't know.
I'm not paying enough attention to
me. And my schedule's all off. I'm not in the baseball routine yet.
Yeah, the Dodgers and the Padres are both 7-0.
Okay.
Does that mean we are no longer in the best division in baseball?
Yeah, the NL West is
the NL West is pretty special.
Well, and the NL East is also good.
No, it's not. Well, I guess you got Philly and New York
and Atlanta. That's
and
three.
Atlanta.
That's three great teams.
What's wrong with Atlanta? Why have they not got a win yet this year?
I know a lot of people picked them to kind of compete with the Dodgers for the World Series. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, rough start.
I think the Airlines is better than the NL East.
Yeah. All right. So right now we're 500. Do you think?
Also, next week, Josh, start times 2:10, 9:40, 9:40, 3:40, 7:05, 4:05. Can we just get some consistent start times?
I know. I do like that when you can tell the times based on you can tell the location based on the time.
Yeah.
So if it starts at 12 after, they're in Toronto.
Yeah. And if you want any inside information when we go play Arizona, Thad and I did the Arizona tour of the stadium, so we got some inside information.
Yeah, and that's where you get the weird times because of the time change.
Right. Good.
All right.
Ready to get out of here?
Yeah. I'm just glad baseball's here. It was a fun first week of Orioles.
Yeah, I feel like listeners don't need to listen to this one on 1.5 speed and do it so fast through all these things.
Yeah, you're gonna miss something if you listen to this at the speed, including us sending it to commercial because we forgot again.
Oh man, so won't let us know in the reviews or something.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. It's early. It's early in the season. We pulled a Charlie Morton. We'll be better next week. All right. In the meantime, thanks for listening, boys and girls.
Yeah, we're going home with cramps.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
hexagona.
yeah. Little voice cramps on the podcast.
Yep. Yeah, I got hand cramps from my mouse.
Yeah. You can follow us on social media platforms. Please write us a review. Listen, we know about the commercial thing. You don't have to write in the reviews.
Yeah.
We know
We're gonna
people.
fix it.
We're gonna fix it. But you can go ahead and write a review and leave that part out. Tell your friends about the show so we can get that more people listening. Spread the news. Baseball is back, baby. It's gonna be a fun season, and we're here for you every week on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. You can follow us on Facebook and X and Instagram and TikTok, all those places. You can follow me on X at Section336. You can follow Josh on X
At Josh Soroka.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.
Hey, this is Jay Gibbons. You're listening to Section 336, Baltimore's best sports talk.
I'm Jonah Heim, and you're listening to Section 336.
Thank you for listening to the Section 336 podcast. Please go to iTunes and Facebook for all complaints or the occasional compliment. If I were you, I would not take any baseball advice from these guys. Josh and Matt were raised by an Orioles-obsessed father, and Bert fell in love with Don Mattingly. He has a thing for mustaches.